Classic Wrath. Survey sent out.
Yippee.
So probably Classic Wrath beta soon. This is
Yeah,
very,
100%.
very exciting news for me. Yeah, right. So there's that. Now, a few weeks ago, we saw a TBC Classic patch that had some Wrath of the Lich King interface files.
Yeah, we did.
Which obviously means they're kind of working and things. And then there's the survey. Did you play Wrath of the Lich King when it originally released?
Yep.
Yep. How interested are you in a
between-
classic version of Wrath of the Lich King? Extremely interested.
Very interested. Oh. I'm going to say, I literally only say very because the timing means I may not be able to play it quite as much as I like.
Fair.
Depends on when it drops.
How likely are you to play a classic version of World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King?
Very likely.
Very likely.
Yep.
So there we go. That's all good news for Blizzard.
Yep, there you go, Blues.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for Classic Wrath. It's going to be great. Now, also, faction balance has been a major topic for people. Major topic for people with TBC. So, how would you describe the faction balance on the realm that you primarily play across both factions?
Yeah.
I never notice it because I PvE, and also, I'm not playing Classic right now. I imagine that would be very different if I was playing Classic.
Almost certainly.
If the population or faction balance issues you were facing were addressed, how likely would you be to play Classic TBC in the next 30 days? Interesting. It seems like that's causing problems for a lot of people.
Hang on a second.
Yeah?
I don't like what this is saying. Because what this is saying is, here's the problem.
Oh, dear.
How much effort should we put into solving this problem? We have to get external opinion for this. I guess this is the sad reality of making a game. They can't just go, they have to think, is it worth our time to fix this problem?
Yeah.
Which is going to suck for anyone playing TBC Classic who's like, sorry, you're not important enough, so they have to go and ask people whether it's important enough of a problem. That feels a bit... Obviously, when Wrath Classic, they probably plan Wrath Classic anyway, so they're likely getting data for a different reason. But to me, I'm like, why do you not just fix the problem? Like, just fix it.
Yeah.
Just fix it. That's
Yeah,
what you
no,
do.
it does feel a bit weird.
Oh, man.
Very hard problem to solve.
Oh, of course,
I think
yeah,
is it Willie who did the video, a really great video examining the issue there with faction pop. Very hard to work that out, isn't it?
Yeah, there's just
So
so
people are
many
just
reasons.
always going to move about the place, and
Yeah, there's so many
Yeah.
issues there.
yeah, it's like I'm not even sure what a perfect solution. Well, there is no perfect solution. It's I guess just what is the best one, or maybe the solution that we do, and it would take the longest to fall over. Who knows? I guess then the other question is how long do these classic game expansions take? Right. So Vanilla WoW Classic was announced at the 2018 BlizzCon. It was eventually released August 26th, 27th in 2019. So that was just shy of a year. Classic TBC launched June 1st, 2021, almost 2 years after the release of Classic and almost 4 months after its announcement. So I guess we could maybe see a Wrath Classic like... You know what? They could even announce Wrath Classic on April 19th.
It would
Then
make sense.
they could...
Depends on how much faith they have in the actual expansion. Because if they wanted this is 10.0 World of Warcraft is back, no ifs, no buts, then you could see them go, we're not going to talk about anything else today. We're going to talk about this incredible return to form for World of Warcraft. Or if they're like, fuck, these guys aren't going to like this very much. Whoops, we maybe shouldn't have done this, but it's too late now. We've made the fucking thing. Here's the expansion and here's Wrath Classic. Please clap.
So yeah, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If Classic lasted 2 years, TBC Classic lasts a year and like 2 or 3 months before it gets superseded by the big new thing. Does that kind of tell us that they were keen enough to move away from TBC Classic so they could get Wrath out? Because, it would have seemed that the ideal way to pace this would be, 1 year, WoW expansion. Next year, Classic. Next year, WoW expansion. Next year, Classic. Right? Pace them out. But if they do 2021 TBC Classic, 2022 Wrath Classic, that's real quick.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's also the Season of Mastery, and then I suppose soon enough we'll find out what the next season is.
Season of Intermittent Fasting.
The season, of course, yeah.
Yep. From the April Fool's joke, by the way.
So, kind of interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they got Wrath Classic out decently quick because they know it's going to take a bit longer. And certainly they could say, listen up, everyone. this expansion is going to come out in 2023.
Yeah.
We're going to give you Wrath Classic pretty soon, and we're going to give you a larger than normal 9.2.5 that also has a Season 4 with a bunch of really cool changes and experimental things. We hope this is enough to tide you over. That's certainly better than just being like, ooh, expansion.
Yep.
So,
But will they?
hard to know.
Are they willing to make the very interesting decision that, I mean, this kind of thing where it's just that case of, I think if they extended the olive branch and said, listen, we're gonna take the time to do this right. We know this is really gonna suck for you guys, but we know a lot of you love Wrath Classic. Here's Wrath Classic. We're gonna divert a lot of resources to make sure like some of the problems that happened with TBC Classic don't happen this time. We're going to have novel fixes. We're going to make sure this is really, really well supported. Please go play. Also, here's a, I don't know if they'd want to, but like here's a, no, they'd never do that. But here's a free Frozen Throne Pass. They'll never do that. They'll charge like shit for it. But that's the case where if they extended the olive branch and told us this, I think a lot of people go,
Oh, yeah.
well, people get to go, okay, well, I know my World of Warcraft fix from the developer is Wrath until the expansion. I'll do that. Or I'll do 9.2.5 if you're a Mythic Plus player.
Yeah.
Or I understand the terms of this agreement. I have decided I will go play another game or I will do something else with my time. Then I'll come back to you when the expansion's good. But they need to extend that olive branch to go, here's what we as a company are offering you as a consumer, as opposed to we have our hooks in you and we're going to keep you here forever. They need to engage with people as people a bit more.
Yeah,
at least for the core consumers.
They have to communicate it right. I think that fundamentally a two-pronged approach of here's a way to continue doing Mythic Plus Dungeons and to continue raiding if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing you can do in Wrath Classic.
Yep.
That's as good as they could probably do while also buying themselves the time.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I hope they do buy themselves that time, and then the next expansion is, truly a step forward.
Yeah.
And look, at least there have been enough positive things coming out. And this 9.2 has obviously not been without its dramas and stuff, but not all the fixes have been perfect, but it does seem like there's been far more of an effort to try.
They have definitely been doing things that I would consider unprecedented.
Yeah.
Obviously, the precedent for, expansion over, last patch, fix everything is there, but I feel like they've been approaching that in unprecedented ways.
Yes.
And then Season 4 is also unprecedented, so they may be open to some things, but I don't know how much of that is developer doing unprecedented things versus organization doing unprecedented things.
Yeah. Well, look, who knows if they get acquired, how will the organization change? I have literally heard from high up person, in this case, not in the Warcraft team, and this was a few years ago, but high up person, surprisingly, so, who basically was like, oh yeah, all that shit you hear about Activision, true.
Yeah.
And this is somebody whose job title would suggest they know, that they would know. So it's certainly not associate. Look, if Microsoft is ruling the roost, there could be a different approach. Microsoft have shown great care to franchises that are not the ones you would put great care into if the only thing you cared about was short-term money.
Yeah.
So I do actually think that there's a decent little cause for hope. I would just say, have hope, maybe don't pre-order. So, protect yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get overly invested, but it's not okay to think that things could get better, right?